I could pull a better podcast out of my head. Hey, kids, welcome to the Tempest Universe.
This is the Tempest Universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
I don't even know where to start this episode. This is Monday, the Monday edition of the Tempest Universe. And wowzers, what the hell happened this weekend? I feel like everyone, at least 55 to 60% of the people I know personally, have been dealing with some kind of Omicron nonsense. Thanks, Wuhan. The Wuhan flu is just going nuts. Completely nuts. It's crazy. I was in Austin over the weekend, and literally 30 minutes to an hour just to sit down, and half the tables were empty at restaurants. Mind you, I visited like 3 just to get seated in one place, but for the love of Pete, really? This is what and of course, there's nothing wrong, right? I mean, nobody cares. They're not wearing a mask anymore. To hell with it. But, nobody shows up to work because they've got Omicron. Nuts. Completely nuts. I don't even know what I'm talking about this right now because, what are we going to do? It is what it is. I read an article. There's 43 or 46 different variants of the Wuhan flu. And now, lucky for us, we have Deltacron. Oh, sorry, I didn't do that justice. Hold on a second. Let me get that right. And now we have Deltacron. What in the hell is going on? And, sometimes you don't want to believe in these conspiracies, but I feel like there's a problem here. Like, really, does the flu go through that many variations of, even through a 12-month period? I mean, really? How many variants of the flu do we have compared to this thing? Completely nuts. This is alien. This shit here is alien for sure. Anyway, this is a Monday episode, the day of the week which nobody really likes, to be honest. And I don't know if this Omicron, Deltacron, if this is, messing with my head because I feel sick all the time now. Like earlier I was had the chills, and now I'm sweating freaking bricks. The hell's going on? I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm pretty sure you've been touched by the Omicron madness. There's no doubt about it. This thing is everywhere. It's going nuts. I don't get it, so to hell with it all. Anyway, another tribute to Deltacron. Here you go. Anyway, by the way, the funny thing is the Greek scientists, they discovered Deltacron or would, but they got shitted on immediately because everybody saying, "Oh, you guys are too dumb. You mixed up all of your samples. It's no such damn thing as a Deltacron." This is like when Omicron first was discovered out there. What was it, in Africa, South Africa? And they were saying, "Oh, it's highly contagious." And it's highly contagious, but it's like you have a mild flu. There's a shitload of people in the hospital now. Are you serious? Yeah, I understand. Some people get mild flu, but apparently it's kicking a lot of people's asses too. This is the alien that we have to deal with today. It's weird that there's actually alien stories to talk about besides all this madness that's going on with this COVID-19. It's going to be year 3. 2022 will be another dumpster fire year thanks to Omicron, Deltacron, and whatever cron comes out next. I'll be honest with you, that's the way it is. Might as well just sit back and get ready to light the fire. But in the meantime, we got articles to talk about. We got stuff to cover. News, UFOs, aliens, abductions, in the Navy. Oh my. That's fantastic. Sad news, Bob Saget done kicked the bucket. Bob Saget. I never liked the show, to be honest. But Bob was cool. I think he had another show where he did, was it America's Funniest Home Videos or something like that? I don't know. I caught it a few times. Not a really big fan of the home video stuff, But still, sad to see Bob Saget go. What can you do? Age. Apparently it's age, because they said no drugs, no nothing. So, and he was on tour, doing like a comedy tour. What the hell? Last thing before we get into, I got a bunch of random shit. I got like pent up stuff I got to talk about. I was just this afternoon before I got on the podcast, I was watching a special on Amazon, and it had to do with our boy from Amazon, Blue Origin, and William Shatner, right? And it was really kind of strange because Jeff Bezos, there's one scene here, and just to watch this part, just so you know how awkward he is. Jeff Bezos and William Shatner, and by the way, apparently this was in the works for 2 flipping years. They had talked about it 2 years ago, and we found out 2 weeks before. But anyway, Jeff Bezos and William Shatner, they're sitting around a campfire, it looks like, right? And they're outdoors, probably on that big ranch that Jeff has. And so, they're talking casually about going into space and shit. And then every time they pan over to Jeff Bezos, he's popping his pectoral muscles, at William Shatner like he's trying to mate. It is the weirdest thing. And it's like he's popping them with every syllable he says. And, I don't know, William started to blush, I can tell you that much. But he's just popping his pecs like he's inviting him in to do something before he gets on his white phallus. This is the weird things you notice when you watch stuff, especially when it has to do with Jeff Bezos, because he's a peculiar guy. He really is. Anyway, we got 4 stories to talk about, and as always, we can start it out with some music. And I'll be honest, I did not change the music from last week. As like I said, I've been under the weather for some time now, but it is what it is. Speaking about weather...
Strange vibrations
The first article is titled 10 Stories of Alien Abduction That Could Lead to the Military. And the link is in the description if you want to check it out. We're gonna talk about 2 of them right now. Just 2. You got 8 more. These are perfect for those shitter moments when you need to take a break, unscheduled or otherwise. You need to hit the shitter. You got 8 more stories of alien abduction that you can go through and do some research while you're on there. But I suggest you don't do that because your legs will go numb. Lee Haley. I was thinking of Lee Haynes, the bodybuilder from back in the days. 1990, Leah remembered that she was abducted. Could you imagine just being wherever you are and all of a sudden, whether you're playing baseball, you're delivering mail, you're driving a truck, a semi down a road, and then you get a flashback of an abduction. That is just scary, I think, to be honest. Now, she started to recall her experiences, kind of like if she was dreaming, right? Maybe having a daydream or whatever, and she's being poked and prodded by a probe or little gray aliens or something like that. So she decided to find herself someone to put her under hypnosis. Really brave, really, to do something like that. Now, she had a career as a certified business administrator and also an author. She wrote a book in 1993, Loss Was the Key, which actually made her kind of famous among people in ufology. Her claims originally were that she was being abducted by extraterrestrials. They were the ones to blame. But a few years later, she started to realize that maybe these individuals, these little gray aliens, were not by themselves. That possibly there was a military involvement in it. Now, here's the real crazy thing. So she put in a FOIA and she looked up some U.S. Patent Office documents. She interviewed other abductees several years after her book and so forth. But she believed that she wasn't chosen at random. As a matter of fact, throughout her life, and herself and her sister, because the sister apparently was also abducted, they were offered jobs at random by total strangers, but all these jobs were near military bases. And as she went to these jobs at these, different bases or whatever, she started to recognize that some of the other abductees were there. Abductees that she might have experienced after she got abducted. This is weird. How many of you have not had someone told a stranger, say, hey, I got this job. It looks like you're really good at APNC. Why don't you check this out? I'm sure maybe in smaller towns that probably happens a lot, right? Little tight-knit communities. I don't think myself, living in a big city, I had that happen too many times, but we all know military bases are never in the middle of the big city. The majority of them are, hard to reach places with lots of land and surrounded by really small communities. So could you imagine if you're someone in this situation? They've had random strangers just offer you jobs and you just happen to realize you've been abducted for years. In one of her stories, she believed that there were military people involved. That she recalled them being there. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that completely nuts? Could it be possible? I mean, the stories are, there are deals. We heard it from Canada. We've heard stories of our own former presidents making deals. By the way, Bugs is nearby. He just farted. Making deals with extraterrestrials to allow people to be abducted, cattle to be mutilated, all kind of stuff happening for technology. Now, that's why we have great cell phones right now, because of ETs and the deals that they've made. I don't know what the trade-off is here. Is it possible that it's a good idea? Something I never really pondered, whether or not trading technology for people is a good thing. Now, on the flip side of that, I have seen a lot of crime videos. And I sometimes when you see people do some of the heinous things they do, maybe giving up the booty of humanity may not be such a bad thing. Maybe it should happen more often to some of these people. I mean, really, if you need to experiment, there's few people in prison that are going to be there for a lifetime for some really heinous acts. Whoop! Get to probing. Get to probing. That's all I got to say. Spare everybody else the madness. Just come on. But then, on the other hand, for the love of Pete, how much longer do you need to probe people? Are you so dumb, Mr. Gray, that you can't figure it out by now? How many decades do you really need? I don't know. I'm all over the place. It must be the illness. The second person, Melinda Leslie. She was actually a bit of a psychic. She was into psychic work and energy work. We've met those people. Really happy people, all about the energy around them. She actually did UFO tours. She was very transparent about her own alien encounters. And then in the early 1990s, her and two friends, independent of each other, went under hypnotherapy after they discovered some missing time on a road trip to California. And let's be honest, if that were to happen right now, well, you know why you lost some time in California. I'll be honest with you. But back in the 90s, it might be a little sketchy. Right? Just a little sketchy if you lost that time in the 90s. These two friends who had this hypnotherapy independent of each other, they recalled very similar experiences regarding the missing time on the road trip in California. Those experiences they recounted included aliens, someone dressed in what appeared to be a naval uniform, working side by side with extraterrestrials. And Leslie made sure to note that this person wasn't there as another abductee. They didn't pick him up and probe him while he was still in his uniform. He was there watching. He was examining. Leslie went on to assert that she firmly believes that there are black projects out there that are above top secret. And she called them special access programs. We know someone, the reptilian man, who says the same thing, Stephen Greer. He talks about special access programs. Maybe she got it from him. Maybe they got it from each other. Maybe they met each other at some lizard farm. But Leslie had the same idea. And that is that there's some kind of military involvement. I mean, why would you have someone in the 90s as a Graylien in a military uniform watching you probe a human? That makes no sense. I mean, come on. They should have done that. They should have gotten that out the way in the 50s and 60s. But like I said, if you Graylians out there are still probing people, it's 2022. How dumb are you? I don't know, just some things about the alien conspiracies. It just seems really off. To be really advanced and cover so much time and space. Really? I mean, you guys should have solved this thing no later than the 80s. I mean, why you keep probing people? Human beings haven't changed other than being COVIDed up. I mean, you really haven't changed. Been the same hairless monkeys since the beginning. So I don't know. I think the whole probing thing is kind of weird. I honestly don't know why it would still happen. I'm just saying. That's my idea. The article for the other 8 abductions is in the description. Like I said, this could be a 2-shitter read. If you want to do research, maybe 3 to 4 shitters. But still, there is, I could say, in the not too distant past, still stories of abduction that are still going on. And now people are making that connection. That connection to maybe it's just a little more than just E.T. Maybe E.T. needs some help, some guidance. Maybe he can't find the right probe holes. I don't know. It's a strange situation, to be honest. But check this out.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
This next article claims that in the first week of 2022, there were two sightings reported from commercial airplanes. And, hey, listen, more power to them. Thank goodness they came forward to report this. Now, was it altitude sickness? I don't know. Was it like, did somebody take off their shoes? This really bothers me. But I really hate when people with stinky-ass feet want to relieve their shoes of their smelly-ass feet and just share with everybody else. There is no way out, folks. Like, how are we going to get good air unless we, dive like 10,000 feet and then the oxygen comes out? There's no way for us to fix that. Keep your freaking shoes on. Smelly bastards. I can't deal with that. There was one time, let me just say, like, it had to be like 10 years ago on a flight to Puerto Rico. This whole friggin' family took off their damn shoes, and have mercy, which is horrific. Anyway, so on January 3rd and January 4th, we had these UFOs that were witnessed by some folks. On the very first one, it was a flight over Georgia, and it was reported to UFOstalker.com. The flight was about 39,000 feet. It was an Airbus A320, and pilot and co-pilot, they're chilling out. The co-pilot apparently had himself an iPhone 13 Pro Max. I don't know what the hell that is. It sounds like a really good phone. Sounds like it could take some serious maximum pictures. Now, this individual was trying to take pictures of the Milky Way. I mean, because why not? I'm sure it was a clear night. And another aircraft came into the area just above their Airbus A320. It was going in the opposite direction at about 40,000 feet. While this individual was filming that aircraft at 40,000 feet, he noticed a V-shaped object appear in the sky, and it was apparently in between them and the other aircraft. Now, you as a pilot, what the hell do you do? I guess pilots really can't freak out, right? Because then there goes everybody on the damn plane. But these two were watching this. They caught video, and they actually uploaded the video to UFOstalker.com. So you can go in there. There's a link in the article, so you can check out the video if you want to. But, a V shape, that is a very particular shape to have up there at between 39 and 40,000 feet. So I would think that there should have been some concern for these guys. I'm just saying. Especially as commercial pilots. It's just probably not something you see every day. Or they just say it all the time. I don't know. Maybe they see it every time they go up there. The funny thing is that with all the things that have been going on regarding UFOs and people reporting them, and it's open now. You would think that all this nonsense over the last 2 to 3 years regarding UFOs, the military making it okay for servicemen and women to report UFOs, and just Congress getting involved, you would think these two individuals would be okay with just reporting it. No, they decided to remain anonymous. They literally did not want to give any more information other than what they did. We thanked them for putting the video, and I'm sure that iPhone 13 Pro Max did a crisp job. I didn't look at the video because, come on. Somewhere over Georgia on the 3rd of January, these two guys took this video. Give us some more information. Like, we want to know. Maybe someone can triangulate. Maybe somebody else saw this on the other airplane that was going in the opposite direction. Maybe somebody there had maybe an Android that they decided to take a video with or snap some photos. They can actually help everyone else kind of figure out where the hell this V-shaped airplane went to. I mean, UFO, not airplane. Folks just stop being afraid to report this stuff. I'm sure you wouldn't have gotten fired. I mean, it maybe might have put something in your, file, slightly nutty. But still, you would have gotten your story out, maybe even become famous. Now, in the video, the individual that had the iPhone actually zoomed into the instrument panel on the airplane, but decided that there really wasn't anything that needed to be reported to the FAA. So there you go. Listen, thank you for reporting something. I understand. People's jobs are still on the line when it comes to reporting UFOs, especially on a commercial level. If you're in the military, I still wouldn't report shit anyway, to be honest. The second sighting was reported on by two airline passengers who were flying from Glasgow to London, according to GlasgowLive.com. Crazy. It's all over the world. Let's just put it out there. It's everywhere. Stop screwing around. This one individual says, I was flying from Glasgow to London with my girlfriend. We left Glasgow airport about 6 a.m. The person's name is Marjol Sella. Just before we prepared to land at Gatwick Airport, I saw this strange object. I started to film it and took some pictures as well. Bravery. Completely brave. Thank goodness that you did that. The individual continued to say it was far away from the plane. That's why you can't see it very clear. At least you tried. It was roughly 3 to 4 miles away from the plane. It was hard to film it because I see it on video. The plane was getting ready to land. Marjo, I don't know. Really don't know. I don't do well with these kind of names. Apparently, this individual was convinced that what they saw was definitely not another regular airplane. Because, listen, from 4 miles away, for damn sure you should be able to tell whether something's an airplane or not. Marjo Hole said it definitely wasn't a plane. I would say it looked more like a flying object in disguise. Oh, shit, hold on a second. This is for you, Marjo. I'm not sure if it was moving. To me, it looked like it was just hovering. Marjo was also able to film the UFO/UAP that is believed to have been flying around 3 to 4 miles away from the plane. And again, here's another one. Has evidence, has video, has pictures. That's a good way to start the year. These are great stories. And I have a feeling that, things like the UAP report, which was shitty, has empowered folks to take it upon themselves to take their fancy ass phones, their $1,600, $2,000 phones, and put it to some good use besides, recording their own amateur pornography. So now we'll get some UFO UAP videos from these folks who are normal folks, normal citizens throughout the world, not just the U.S., and hopefully this will lead to something. Maybe someone in Congress tied to this UAP UFO office will kind of start looking at citizens around the world, not just military reports, even though we know that they're concerned about those specifically when it comes to involvement from other adversaries. Check out the link in the description. And please, if you see a UFO while you're flying, report it. Don't be afraid. The pain won't last for that long.
Please, I need a shot and I'm begging on my knees. The way to fight is one battle at a time. You may have won today, but I'll see you at the finish line. All is fair in love and war. You pull no brakes when you're riding to the core. All is fair in love.
don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the money?
Fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and...
This next article is actually, I think it's from The Hill, but it's an update to the story that we had regarding these swarm of unidentified UAPs that were going after those Navy ships. Remember that? Like somebody took a video of one of them going into the water, and then there was a bunch of them swarming the ship above, and they, everybody's out there with their cell phone, their IMAX 320 5000. And apparently, some work has happened since then. So this incident was back in 2019, right? Unknown objects going over these U.S. warships off the coast of Southern Cal. It was weird, especially after seeing the whole TikTok stuff and Go Fast videos and FLIR stuff. You think, that's just not good. They're not that stupid. Graylians cannot be that dumb to get caught again by cell phones and whatever else they got caught on, right? But apparently they did. They decided to go swarm these, warships, and they got caught, right? It was all over the place. It turns out, according to some documents, here goes my accent again, some documents that were reviewed by The Drive. The Drive, great website. They get into this stuff like heavy, man. They don't even play. The Drive actually reported that the Navy worked with the FBI and the Coast Guard, and they have ruled out civilian activity or U.S. military operations as possible explanations for those encounters back in 2019. When people were seeing those drones going over the ships, right? They were, swarmer drones, but they had lights that a lot of people were saying, well, that looks like aircraft, looks like drone lights or whatever. But, apparently that's not the case. They've come to that conclusion now. So now they're back to the implications that maybe as a foreign power out there in off the coast of California that, I don't know, has these secret drones or some kind of new aircraft or some, weird technology that is buzzing the shit out of the military out there without anything impeding them. Like just because they feel like it. Bez vidania. Comrade. Now, a lot of people in ufology will say that, that's not the Russians. That's not them, the Chinese. That's not even the North Koreans. They'll tell you that. They feel strongly that this is out of this world. But the military is still stuck in the idea that this is quote-unquote adversarial intelligence. That these mystery crafts with all these lights gave no shits. Literally, they just went out there and did their thing. Kind of like the Tic Tac. They didn't even try to hide it because the Navy radar operators were able to track these things. Like, we don't care. See me. It's completely nuts. But you can be, feel secure that they are actively investigating this. Like, of course, they don't go out and just put it out there. Hey, in case you guys are concerned, back in 2019, we had this thing. But it's good that someone out there is keeping track of this, and it's a pretty good update because as much as they want you to believe that it's nothing, it is something, and they know it's something. That's why they're investigating these things. That's why they're going on to other agencies and trying to get things cleared up, if you will. Now, here's the thing, kind of like the Graylians. How many years is it going to take for you to figure out whether or not these so-called drones or UAPs belong to a foreign adversary? How freaking hard can that be? How difficult is that? Can someone follow these things? And you have an idea of where they are, right? Because we all know, according to these reports, off the coast of California, stuff's going down. Like, I would think that we would have every single radar just aimed at Southern California, the coast of California, and we would figure this thing out in a matter of months, but apparently not. Apparently these UAPs, they disappear magically, and they reappear, and basically, without fear of getting caught, repercussion, nothing. Like, they literally do not even fear that any of those warships would fire at them. Not a single one. They give no fucks about it. Isn't that strange? Like, I would think that if it was a foreign adversary, that they'd be concerned. They'd be concerned if one of the Navy ships were to shoot them down, and then we'd have some evidence. Now, as far as I know, it kind of seems like Russia is pretty worked up about the Ukraine again. So I don't know. Could they still be the ones who are flying these alien drones around? Who knows? But don't be fooled. Just because you see a report and all of a sudden it disappears, don't think for 1 second that these things are not being taken seriously and that there is some serious effort going on behind the scenes to figure out what the hell's going on. And honestly, my thoughts on it, shoot them things down. It's the only way you're going to know. And as far as we know, it probably has happened already. But we're not going to know until the drive gets the info or somebody gets some kind of a FOIA request going on. But there you go. So even though we haven't heard about this story in the last year, guess what? 2019, we're still investigating that situation with no conclusion other than it wasn't Jerry or Tom or Matilda out in South Cal flying their little toy drone. There's some real stuff going on here. Check out the link in the description from The Hill because they also go into some of the other things that could be happening behind the scenes in the investigation and why they're leaning towards it being someone known, another adversary on planet. Only time will tell. Check this out. I've said this a million times. I love the fact that NASA underpromises and overdelivers. I mean, I literally am still, for 2022 and 2023, I'm going to make it my mission to be like NASA. Underpromise, overdeliver. Do you know how many raises I would get just by doing that? No, boss, I don't think I could do that. Oh, my God, I did it. And I exceeded everybody's, projections, so show me the money. This is really what NASA does, At first, James Webb, it would only last like 5 years. Yeah, we don't think it's going to last more than 5 years. We just have to see what happens. Just go cool your jets. I mean, the damn thing wasn't even up there a week, and it's like, oh, it's going to last 10 years. Absolutely. You would think that if you put something together for like $10 billion plus, that shit would last a very long time. But I don't know. It probably would, to be honest. You would think that something that is about $10 billion, it would be fantastic. I mean, you could buy a shitty-ass $20,000 car. It might last you a good 10 years with not too many major problems, right? I mean, at least, right? So you would think if you make something for $10 billion, it should last 20, 30 years, maybe 40 even. But there's a problem when you take something so expensive and you throw it out so far away. Number one, you can't even fix it. It's not like the Hubble. You can't send someone up there to fix a module, take it out, realign the shit. It's not going to happen. It's too damn far. Here's the other thing that NASA really didn't tell us about is that apparently this $10 billion piece of equipment could be subject to micrometeorites. So it could be pegged quite a few times. And some of it could be detrimental. Like literally, we could see $10 billion go down the shitter in one collision. Just like that. Yeah, that's what they said. And just to quote them, small impacts from micrometeorites will happen, and they're saying it's going to happen. It's like, they didn't even gamble on whether or not you believe them. They said, screw it. Yeah, that thing's going to get hit by stuff. According to NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, Michelle Thaler said, over the lifetime of the mission, there will be some damage to the mirrors of the telescope. Why would you send $10 billion so far away that you can't even fix the damn thing? This is crazy. And then there's not only a chance, they know it's going to happen. They're not even screwing around with us. They're telling us. They already put it in space. What the hell can you do now? Like, I could imagine when they first launched this shit, like about a dozen little, pocket-protected little nerds just ran into the restroom, just snickered in there. Because they literally sent $10 billion to be shot at by space. That's what they did. That is crazy. I don't know. Hopefully we get some good pictures before this actually happens. Hopefully we get some good images before this thing gets pegged by a bunch of little meteorites. And just screw it. What if we get a nice size meteorite? What if we get one that's just the right size to just blow the whole damn thing up? Will we at least get pictures of that as it's coming in for that final collision? It is so weird that they build this thing to where it even needs to be shielded from the sun. That's why they got this whole shield on it, because the temperature of this thing needs to be extremely cold because it uses infrared. Could you imagine it being pegged by a bunch of debris and you get holes all over the shield, and then what? God, I don't know. This is the craziest thing ever. So there's your $10 billion bucks that NASA just spent in putting out a nice size tennis ball, not tennis ball, what the hell is that? A nice size, I can't even think right now. What the hell is wrong with me? It's a nice size target basically for space. And It's sad that we're going to lose that much money in this. It's completely nuts. It's getting to be at the end of the podcast, to be honest. That's what's happening. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't happen. Or at least get us some good pictures before this thing just gets completely mauled. It'd be terrible. Like, I would see someone pulling the plug on NASA after that, because somebody's got to be pissed about it. Anyway, this is the end of the episode for today. There is a link in the description for you to check out the demise of James Webb, apparently, sometime in the near future. I have a feeling it'll happen within the 3-year mark, but will they tell us that it's being pegged by micrometeorites? Nope. I'm sure they wouldn't, unless someone slips up and tells the general public. I mean, it could happen, right? Who knows? Hopefully we'll catch you guys on Wednesday. And hopefully there'll be some really good UFO stories to talk about. By the way, I'm thinking about starting a segment called News You Can't Use. Kind of like this. I don't want to use this kind of news, but I figured some of you might. Ciao.
I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Yeah. So lost, where do I go? I was in the chase, caught a flat on road. It was all love, X no O. I was feeling rich, but we turned out broke. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real. It was back in late December when I did it. I just wish I could forget it. Cause I hate how much I love it. Oh, I hate how I just love to catch a feel. Yeah. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. If I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me in my feelings.
Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't believe that it was real. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't believe that it was real.
Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. I can't believe that it was real. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my
Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing old. Now I can't.